Hey everyone, today we have Promeet Mansata from California in the US. I'm excited to host him today for our client testimonial videos. Thank you, Promeet, for being on the show. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Thank you for having me here, Hemant. It's good to be here. I'm, as Hemant said, in California and looking forward to answering some questions for all you prospective customers out there.
Great, great. So, tell me about your NRI life. When did you become an NRI? What do you do right now? Uh,
I have been an NRI for close to 20 years at this point. I live in California. I work in tech. I used to be an engineer turned product manager at this point, and most of my focus is on growth product and payments product. Those are two areas I focus on.
mhm,
I started my investing journey many years ago. I think it was 2007 or 2008 in India. And if you ever try to invest back in the day in India or open a NRO, NRE account or open an investment account, you probably have gone through a bunch of frustrations, hundreds of pages of
mhm,
forms, trying to get something open, dealing with the bank, going up and down, or your parents going up and down. When I visit ICICI in India, you'll see like 100 people sitting there and waiting for their turn. So if you are like me, you've probably gone through these frustrations many times before.
Yeah, I agree. Like I've been an NRI myself for the 7 years. I think every time I visit India, I have this agenda in mind. I want to visit the bank, but I feel disappointed every time I do so. But yeah, that's I think the challenge of an NRI. Everyone, living any part of the world. So how
Yeah.
did you? Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, so I was asking like given the challenges that you mentioned, and how did you discover INRI in the first place?
So for me, I discovered iNRI. I saw a post that you had put on LinkedIn,
Hmm.
and somebody had liked it from my network, and I was like, wait, what is this thing? And I had just had a very bad experience a few months before in January
Yeah.
this year, where my wife was trying to open an investment account, and we went through IDFC First Bank and their investment
Mm-hmm.
branch, and they didn't do anything in spite of asking multiple times, hey, do you have all the documentation ready to go? They said yes, 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 yes. And then once I left India, 2 days later, the guy says, I'm sorry, I cannot open this because of this or that or some stupid reason. And I was
Hmm.
in India for a month, it could have been solved. So now I have
Yeah.
a bunch of money sitting here. I can't invest it and it's
Yeah.
just lying there. So we put it into a fixed deposit account. So when I came across INRI, I'm like, oh my God, this is super. Like, and this is like a very interesting product. But of course,
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust anybody just right up front. So I reached out to INRI and then I had my first conversation with you. Like, I was like, hey, how does it work? And I asked you a bunch of questions in an email. And, a few hours later, you responded. And then I started my journey of basically thinking like, okay, I think this might be worth a try. And so that's kind of how I reached to it,
Yeah.
where I'd seen the frustrations. I came across something that said, hey, I'll make investment easier for you. I
Mm.
didn't trust that's going to be possible. I had a conversation with you, and that kind of got me
Yeah.
primed and ready for actually going down this path.
No, it truly makes sense. And I remember our conversation on email, it was a long chain to just go over like, just understanding the platform. But I'm glad that you are, so far ahead in your journey. So what do you really like, let's say one thing about iNRI, like is it the onboarding process, the KYC, or the final investing part where you are today?
It's all of them actually. The onboarding, I think I made the onboarding super simple, like for people who do not understand what a KRA is. Just
Mm,
upload your documents, record a little video saying you're doing this because of this, and
mm,
being the ability to do it on your own without
mm,
asking anybody to step in between is
mm,
huge. You cannot do that with most other platforms today. Go to
mm,
ICICI, try to open an account or try to get an investment set up. In
mm,
fact, I'm from Bangalore, so go to Bangalore and try to find an ICICI direct guy to help
mm,
you.
mm,
It's
mm,
impossibly hard to find.
mm, mm, mm,
So just at the starting point, the onboarding, getting the KYC completed, choosing investments, it's like as simple as a checkout. You can go to an Amazon, click a button and check out. It's almost as simple as that. And I found that experience to be very fast. So in the past, I had to do something like this, I had to write out a check or
yeah.
issue a DD or like all this messy stuff that I had to do, which took hours on end, simplified by a 5 minute click, add to cart, purchase, out of there. 5 minutes.
Okay. No, I think that's where our North Star is. We want to make it so simple and easy for you to kind of, as good as shopping on Amazon, right? And we are making each day effort to kind of, become close to that. I know that you are a gold customer and you've increased your investments over time. You know, Tell me more about it, like how you feel, and do you think like the gold thing is really great, and what do you kind of suggest for others?
Yeah, so I mean, I think the gold is a no-brainer. You get it with a certain investment level, so
Mm,
I don't know why you're waiting. So I'll tell you my story of investment with
mm.
iNRI, right? So I started off with, I think you might remember this, 5,000 rupees. I was like, no, 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 I'm not
Yeah,
risking any money. What's the minimum I can put in? If I lose it, I'm okay with it.
yeah.
And obviously, I've been in situations in the past where removing money has also been a challenge.
Mm,
First thing I did with INRI was I put in the money and then I tried to remove it just to make
mm,
sure, yes, it hits my bank account. I'm actually able to redeem online because a lot of these funds redeeming online is a challenge.
mm,
They expect paperwork, and I didn't want to deal with any of that. So I said, like, if this is going to be foolproof, I should be able to put my money in when I want to, remove it when I want to, without any interruptions, without
mm.
any complexity. So I started there, then that was very seamless. You helped me out with some of the things. I think we have some validation issues
Yeah.
where, you have to withdraw a certain dollar amount of value
Mm,
or number of units or whatever. So
mm,
we fixed all that. We went past that. It was super, super easy. And then we went to a stage where I'm like, okay, I have a ton of cash sitting. I want to start investing it. And that's the
mm,
journey I went down. And then suddenly I know I'm an iNRI gold member where I'm
mm,
like, okay, I'm a gold
mm,
member, so I don't have to pay a fee, right?
mm,
And
mm,
I think what really struck me was you were transparent about how you make your money, right?
mm,
You're a sub broker, so you make your money from the entry exit loads or whatever it is per specific fund,
mm,
and
mm.
that transparency exists. And I think a lot of people don't realize that they actually pay that out with anybody else,
Yeah,
and these guys make money. So if you ever been approached by a broker in India, they're always trying to get your business. Once they get your business, they leave you. They don't care about you after that.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, money is invested. I don't care. I found a very different experience with you. I have been, in fact, even a couple of weeks ago, I had a small challenge with my wife's account. I reached out to you. You basically helped me right away, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I think you managed to nail the not only the experience but also the anxiety that people have, like people like us
Mm.
have investing. You managed to nail that with a great experience from a customer support perspective as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
I've upped my investment dollars, and I
yeah,
am going to continue to do that. As I start liquidating from other places, I'm going to push more in because I want a convenient
yeah,
life.
yeah. Now that brings me to another question. So you mentioned about your wife, right? I know that you referred your wife into the platform. So would you recommend iNRI to family and friends and more people? Yeah, and tell me about that experience. Like how did went for your wife?
Yeah, so the first thing, I don't get paid to do this, just for everybody on the call. I highly recommend INRI to family and friends. Look, if you want to find a way to do it offline, can you get a cheaper way to do it? Sure, you can go. There are direct ways to do it, to MF Central and this and that. There are ways to do it, right? If you really want to do it.
Mm,
Do you really have the time? I don't know about you guys. I have a very busy life.
mm,
I'm always busy, and in order to save my time, which I think is more precious to me, the experience and the confidence that INRI provides that my investment will be made in a very timely fashion, without any up and down, no paperwork, it's worth it to me. And so I
yeah.
would highly recommend, not just to friends and family, but whoever's listening to this video. You have my name right here. I'm available on LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to have a conversation with you. I highly recommend INRI.
Great, great. Thank you for being a loyal and obviously a great support. So, like one final question. So, we're constantly looking to improve, as you know, right? Is there anything you want to suggest to enhance the customer experience for, future customers and for yourself, obviously?
I don't know. So I do stock trading as well. So
Mm,
hopefully, if you get there one day soon enough, like having stock trading, I know we had
mm,
discussed the SIP experience as well. It
mm,
was not clear exactly how the SIP experience works, but I think
mm,
those are two things. I think the third thing is under PFIC reporting. Like,
mm,
it is complex. A lot of people don't get PFIC reporting. So being able to simplify PFIC reporting where people can take advantage of mutual funds. Today, people are very
mm.
shy of mutual funds, even though it's very good return
Yeah.
and much more than the US market, at least
Mm,
has been over the last like decade and a
mm,
half.
mm.
So
Yeah.
simplifying the taxation experience. I know you already provide services, so that's really good. Like expanding that portfolio of services into
Mm,
property
mm,
management services or property related services,
mm,
buying and
mm,
selling a property. Like I'm looking for a property in India to buy over the next like few months, maybe this year, and
mm,
it's not easy to approach that. So I think deepening into the financial journey. So you start with mutual funds, go to
mm,
stocks,
mm,
go to
mm,
other issues that people have with documentation. My wife has not been able to open an Aadhaar card. We went to the center, we stood in line, we got that done. So expanding to those areas would be very valuable from an NRI perspective.
Yeah, no, I take that feedback completely, and we are, I'm excited to share that we are working on some on and most of these areas. In fact, our North Star or long-term vision is to make a platform which is trusted and, the sole one-stop platform for NRIs for many of such use cases.
Ah,
Uh,
super. Glad to hear that. Look forward to seeing all the new stuff come up.
yes, yes. So, with that, I want to really thank you today. We are at the 10-minute mark, and but we did got most of you, about the platform and about, experience. Thank you, Bromit. Really fun to have you today.
No problem. And whoever's watching this, please don't even think twice. Go ahead and invest.
Great, great. Cool.